So the new Year 3 Sagat update for Street Fighter 6 has just gone live on the Nintendo Switch 2. We're going to be looking at how Sagat and the new costumes look, and we're going to be comparing it to the other versions. So, as you know, this update marks the beginning of Year 3 for Street Fighter 6, and with it we got the newest DLC character to come to Street Fighter 6, and that is Sagat. You can see me here going through the combo trials with him, but in addition to Sagat, we also got some goodies for the Gooners out there, of which I am not one, obviously, but you know I had to buy some of these skins. Here are Cammy and Chun in their bathing suits. Here's what their intros look like on the Switch 2 as well. Those are the only new skins that I bought. They are pretty expensive after all, but we could still look at what the other ones look like using the 3D model viewer in the shop. So here we got Luke. I'm not the biggest fan of him, but for those of you who do like him, this is what his new costume looks like on the Nintendo Switch 2. Here we got Jamie. You know what? That blonde look fits Jamie pretty well, I do gotta say. Manon is built very well in this new skin, I'll say that much. Fighting her is not fun, but at least looking at her is, especially in this skin. Kimberly could use a little work on her face if I'm being completely honest, but the new costume for her looks pretty good. Aki, you know, when I first saw this skin in the trailer, I thought Manon had a second new skin, so I thought this was actually Manon. It turns out it was Aki. It honestly looks nothing like her, but in the default white variant of this skin, she looks amazing. Like, I love this skin for Aki, but unfortunately, she's just not my style of character. And lastly, we have the classic Sagat skin, which looks really good as well, obviously. Now let's take a quick look at how they compare to the other versions. Let's take a look now at the new stage and what it looks like on the Nintendo Switch 2. It's called the Proud Spire, and there are a few things to take note of regarding the Switch 2 edition. One thing that I was worried about was the tiger. If you've been playing the Switch 2 edition, then you know that the amount of NPCs in the background was reduced for the Switch 2. So I was actually kind of thinking that maybe they might have gotten rid of the big tiger that follows you in the background, but I'm happy to report that that was not the case. The tiger is still there and still has a bunch of different animations. Like, for example, when Sagat loses a round, the tiger roars. Right. At the beginning of the second round, the tiger can be seen lying down with one of the female NPCs next to it. But as far as the background for this stage, it's really just those two, the girl and the tiger. In the PlayStation 5, the Xbox Series X, and PC, there's a lot more NPCs in the background, which contribute to just making the whole stage feel a lot livelier than on the Switch 2. Still though, there are no performance issues. You can see these side by sides here, and as was the case before, the Switch 2 edition holds up beautifully with the exception of the number of non-playable characters, but that is a concession that I think is worth it. So that's gonna be it for this video. What do you guys think of how the Switch 2 is running Street Fighter 6 in the new Year 3 update with Sagat and the new skins? You know, NetherRealm Studios could really take a cue from Capcom when it comes to the designs of their characters. Nobody wants to look at this. Boom.
Fucking ugly bitch.
Okay, Warner Brothers, nobody wants to look at that. This is what we want. This right here. Plus, good gameplay and all that, of course. Yada, yada, yada. Also, it would appear that some people were having trouble finding the Year 3 update for Street Fighter 6 on the Nintendo Switch 2. Here's a super quick rundown. Log into the eShop, search for Street Fighter 6, go down to where it says additional character Sagat. Click on that, scroll down to view all, and in that list you will find the year 3 bundles. It looks like it changed a little bit since the update is out now and it's a little bit easier to find, but during the pre-order phase it was a little difficult to find. The like button is feeling kinda lonely, so do me a solid and hit that real quick. I'm SwitchPlayed, done.